This is the rebooted Wonder Woman. You don't need to read anything before this, and anyone who has read it before is not going to be pissed off because they
didn't stop the continuity
not
that
at
has
all.
been going on for years in the Wonder Woman book. They've let you hold on to that. What they did is they added the much needed element of rape.
No,
to the origin story.
What they've done is they've given a fresh take on the character. You jump into the story, you're in the middle of the action, and I can say that I've read a lot of Wonder Woman stories, and I think Brian Azzarello's is absolutely one of the best.
Okay, I think I talked to you years ago saying invite me on the show because as a youngster, my brother and I used to collect comic books. I'm here as the guy that has stopped reading comic books. I don't find them enjoyable at all. But when it comes, no, listen. I think this is important because
this is why he's a guest on the show.
Yeah,
I'm a guest on the show as a former reader of comics, and I would say that the reboot, I was excited. Seeing the interview, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. I was incredibly disappointed because I still think that these people that are writing these new reboots, first of all, for me as a non-reader for reboot, that means you're trying to get new readers on board. For a person like me that's out of the element and reading these were like torture. It was
really
poorly written.
Explain that.
Torture.
I
opened it up, and for you, you're saying, oh, you're thrown right in the story, and you kind of groove right with it. To me, not reading any comic book for years, I was hoping for a little bit of subtext, a little bit of introduction, and I think that for a reboot, the point to me for a reboot would say, let's get some new readers. Let's bring in some new blood. Let's sell some comics to the new generation. But I think they came in, they got, the guys that have written comic books forever, guys that, we're going to do this really because we're going to really do this for the guys that have already been reading comic books for years.
Yeah.
As a non-reader, I go in there, I'm confused as hell. Give me some origin, give me some subtext to start this off, to, at least rev the engine, crank the engine, and get me moving forward. It was torture for me. Every time I read it, I was like, oh.
Here's the thing. I've obviously read a lot of Wonder Woman before, but this story starts out fresh without needing anything to come before it. And, when you start the story, obviously, we know that the character is Apollo because we've read up to number 5 or 6. But the point is that when you start out, you're like,
ta-da,
oh,
that's the point. You can't, you're making an assumption.
When you start the story, you're like, who's this guy? Why is he with these women? Why does he look like this?
But the thing is that the dialogue was so sparse. It's like, why did I even care? It's like, if this was a movie, it would be a bad movie. It's like, this is the movie. Guy laying in bed. Guy walking around. Guy says, hey, Tom, get over here. Hey, Tom, like, who are these people?
No.
I don't give a shit. And then as I'm going on, I'm going, it's even worse. And then they introduce Apollo. Give me some fucking origin. Right? Even the Bible has origin. The most boring book in the world, the Bible has origin. Don't be arrogant. Don't be a stuck-up nerd about comics. Say, we're going to make this fresh and beautiful for the new generation coming up and reading comics. Continue the old Wonder Woman for the true readers of comics, and reboot for the new readers. And put down your ego and say, we're going to spoon-feed you and give
Wonder Woman from the beginning, from the dawn of her trials,
right? Just like the old Superman, right? The origin of Superman.
They do bring up some of that stuff in the actual story. They do get a little bit of the origin stuff.
I know
it's very brief,
right?
And I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is extremely brief, but as a reader, they bringing in the new fashions of the gods. Was any of that even
completely
appealing?
redesigned?
Time out. But listen, what Marshall's saying, I agree with what you're saying 100%. What DC tried to do was they tried to cash in on both markets. They tried to do a reboot, but they didn't want to lose the old readers because that's who was buying their books already. They do a reboot to try to get new readers, but they don't want to take the time to do the origins and get the readers up to date or have somewhat of a background or a knowledge of
or hire new writers that are good. These are bad. This is it's poor writing, poor storytelling.
Actually, the art-wise, I did like. Their frame-to-frame storytelling wasn't too bad. I didn't like this artist for Wonder Woman. It was a little too cartoony for my taste.
I liked him.
I thought it was bad.
But it was a good artist. I thought the artist was great. I thought the storytelling was okay. I understood what was going on. I didn't have to second guess. I could read it quickly. You know what I mean? I could flip through it quick. I mean, there's bad artists that you have to go why does he have 2 guns now? You know what I mean? It's sort of, so they did have that to it, and it did flow well. It fell a little bit short in what you're saying, in not I guess, good writing.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I like the idea for myself, anyways, that they brought the gods back in. I had to sit with my 10-year-old daughter who is studying this stuff in school now and say things like, "Who was Zeus's wife again? Oh, okay." And
right. Well, I mean, I'm just saying that if you're going to bring in the gods, and I'm for all that stuff, give us like a preamble. Give us and you're right. It's probably like they were trying to like satisfy everybody, which ended up just satisfying Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. But
this is one of the best sellers. This is in the top 10.
Yeah, but so is Snickers bars and McDonald's.
But
they're
the thing,
best
Marshall,
big sellers too.
Is that you don't need that explanation. I'll give you a quick example. There's a movie called
do.
Star Wars.
Right.
It starts off in the middle of a battle. Darth Vader walks in. Then you see the Luke Skywalker, you see Han Solo. There's no explanation for who they are. You jump right into the story, just like this. This is an action story.
This is a book. We're reading this and looking at pictures.
No, just your argument still says that it didn't grab.
All I gotta say is, in my opinion, this is a great reboot. This is one of the better titles.
Okay,
this is a comic book cartoony art.
I can't believe that you believe that. I can't believe you believe it.
And
Give me a brand new story. When that interview guy said, "Oh, I had an idea," like. This is your idea to do nothing?
Yes, it is.
Like, please.
It's a great idea. I give it a 4.5 suns out of 5.
4.5?
Yes.
That's pretty generous, but it was great. I will give it 3.
Right.
How many? Like 4 suns?
Yeah. I give it 0 suns.
That's fine.
I believe... Okay, that they should start over and reboot again.
Okay, but wait. That isn't... Okay, but you have 0.
0.
Take a look at the shorts.
How many stars?
Take a look at that. How many stars?
But really, I'm so tired of these reboots. Like, what is with these people? Just stick with the original.
Yeah, original.
See, that's why I like Ghost Rider. They've never rebooted him.
Actually, Tom, Ghost Rider has been rebooted. Several times, in fact.
Really?
See, the original Ghost Rider was a Western-themed hero created in 1949 by Ray Crank and Dick Ayers.
No way.
After the trademark lapsed, Dick Ayers, Roy Thomas, and Gary Friedrich created a new Ghost Rider for Marvel Comics in 1967.
Wow!
Then in 1972, Ghost Rider was rebooted by Gary Friedrich, Roy Thomas, and Mike Ploog into stunt cyclists with a flaming skull.
Well, who knew?
I did. That's not all, Tom.
Huh?
In 1990, Ghost Rider was rebooted again as Danny Ketch. He was nearly identical, except this Ghost Rider had a leather jacket.
A leather jacket?
Yes, Tom, a leather jacket.
Well, I guess that's all there is to know about Ghost Rider.
Wrong again, Tom! Oh. Did you know that there was an ill-fated Ghost Rider TV show in the 1970s?
Wasn't any good?
Not really.
Well, at least the movies are good.
You said it, Tom.